Welcome to Answers with the Astro Bag Lady with your hosts, Spirit Walks Far, and my own self, Reverend Dr. Al Newman. Howdy, hi. We're so thrilled to be here. Aren't we thrilled to be here?
We are thrilled to be here.
I'm so happy I need to pee. I mean, that's one of those things, you know? It's like, if I disappear, keep it going.
Look, guys, y'all are going to have to help me convince Elle that it's okay to be dressed from the waist up to be in front of a camera.
Just because you're sitting there half naked. I got my sassy pants on today, mister.
You got your sassy pants on?
My sassy pants. Had to. I had a contractor here this afternoon. That worked out very well. Baby steps. The time between eclipses, and we are officially right now between eclipses. The first eclipse was a lunar eclipse on 5/21 at 5 Sagittarius 35. Now, it did visit Sagittarius first, and Leo, and Aries, and of course Gemini, but it's stations in everybody's natal chart somewhere. Next one is on 6/10. That's a solar eclipse at 19 Gemini 47. That's for you and I, and the rest of the world in no particular order. The time between eclipses is like waiting for Jell-O to set. It takes what it takes, doesn't it? And because this is the best time in the world to make changes, here's your options. You can make changes in your life, or you can sit back and get hit with a change pie right in the face. Personally, I would rather be my own agent of change. I find that healthier, don't you? So here we are in this beautiful time of really no limits. And we have, welcome any and everyone. Yes, welcome any and everyone. Thank you so much. We do have beautiful people who have followed me for 13 years now. Our official anniversary of this program was April 23rd. Thank you so much. But I've been radio for 25 years. So it's, you know, after a while, it's just another day. Now, let's talk about how exciting this cycle is. How exciting is it? Well, we know that Mercury, that zippy little guy, who rules over issues of transportation, communication, machinery that moves data around, interpersonal communication, is now retrograde. It's okay to primal scream and then get over yourself, because he does it 3 times a year. This is not new. This is not special. It's just another retrograde rodeo. Now, adding to the brew, it's more like an étouffée. We have Saturn, who went retrograde on 5/23. And he won't go direct until 10/10. He went retrograde at 10 Aquarius 20. He goes direct at 6 Aquarius 57. That's because he's sitting in a sign for 2.5 years. If you give it a 10-degree orb, it's a 3.5-year influence. At the same time, Pluto, the cosmic roto-rooter, he's one of my favorites. He's the planet who delves into the depths of your psyche and shows you unhealthy behaviors that have sprung from experiences you did not process yet. Okay. He and Saturn and Mercury together are guaranteed to take people who, what's a nice way to say nasty liars, who obfuscate and put their business in the streets. Hence the experience we had this week where they discovered, oh my heart, 251 native babies who were just basically stolen and planted. Anyone who doesn't understand what the residential schools are about, do a little homework, because this is the place where they took these beautiful children away from their families, cut their hair, stole their language, and did their best to eliminate their culture. By the way, it didn't work. Now, as an aside, this is still going on in Canada today. So let's honor the fact that we need to pray for our brothers and sisters so they can have rights like they're supposed to. The CBC did a feature just a few weeks ago about this young Indigenous couple, had a beautiful little baby girl, and all of a sudden, Child Protective Services showed up and took their child away. They told them that they weren't making enough of an effort. They were both working full-time, and the grandma was, of course, doing the babysitting, which is a beautiful thing if you have a grandma. I got to do it as a grandma. It's wonderful. They said the child didn't have adequate health care. It's Canada. Health care is free. And that the child had a limited future. So not only did they take this beautiful child away from her exceedingly young parents who didn't completely know their rights at the time. There's someplace else we have to do some education. They gave him to a white family. How's that working for you, huh, Spirit?
It doesn't. It never has.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, you can read on my Facebook page or your Facebook page, Al Newman, Mother Peace Drum Spirit Soaring, the stories of 70-something-year-old people who are stuck in those residential schools and the horrors they went through. And all of this is done in the name of religion, which makes me cough up fur balls.
Well, religion and a land grab.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be honest. It wasn't all about religion. It wasn't all about curing the heathen. It was religion and a land grab.
Yeah.
And they got away with it for a long time. And
they still are.
For all intents and purposes, they still are getting away with it. But, you know, more and more people are becoming aware of the atrocity.
Exactly.
A couple of the grandmothers have gone to the World Court in Prague. So it is getting heard. It is getting out there. The UN has a council now on missing and murdered indigenous children and women, where they are paying a lot of attention to, that thing in Rome that shouldn't exist. But
yeah.
And the schools that they started, because look, there's no point in hitting a 3-year-old child in the face with a 2x4.
Oh heavens, no!
I mean, what have you done there? You have probably disfigured, but you destroyed the mental state of that child for life.
Exactly. Traumatized them. By the way, we have a chat room somewhere, don't we?
Yes, we do. We are chatting from Spirit Soaring's Take a Walk with Me. We are where is it? I don't know. It's here somewhere.
Well, let us know when it turns up, because I'm sure people want to. Live viewer comments can show up on StreamYard. This is an example. Click on comment to show the screen. Shall I do that?
Welcome. And everyone, see, we can show everybody your comments. Or
Lovely.
Climb over here to a private chat, and if anybody will actually state their name, we can add them in. Or
yes, indeed.
Please jump into the Discord chat. I invited everybody from my page, Spirit Soaring's Take a Walk with Me, earlier today.
Good.
We are voice connected with Answers with the Astral Bag Lady.
And eventually we'll even get phone calls, won't we? Eventually. Just say yes. Humor me.
Eventually.
Life is better.
We are working on the call-in feature as we speak.
It's best to humor me. It's just better that way. Having bought brand new headphones that don't fit in the darn computer, even though it says on Amazon, this is made for MacBook Air. Yeah, it's made for MacBook Air if you don't plug it in, and I don't trust that the battery's going to last for 2 hours. That's the kind of guy I am. I see people walking around with their computer under their arms, going to the coffee houses and whatnot, and I think, no, because I'd be in the middle of something juicy and then drop. No.
Drop.
Okay, more good aspects. Today, as of 6 o'clock tonight, we have Jupiter, who has newly entered Pisces. That's all about spiritual growth and people of commitment coming together, men and women of goodwill coming together to make this world a better place. And the moon in Pisces, dancing over that.
Oh,
and,
okay.
And
that's how you get into the chat room.
Really? How?
We're going to have to hook your phone up to Facebook.
Okay, that's next week.
Yeah, I got it.
And Neptune in Pisces, which is, the combination is absolutely amazing because it's all about spirit communication. It's all about trusting your instinct. It's all about intuitive growth. And Donna Austin says, hello. Hi, Sings.
She figured out how to get in.
And here's the thing. Here's the thing, boys and girls.
Tell everybody how to get in, Sings.
This aspect, hang in there. This aspect only happens once every 110 years. Now, do you want to wait? That's my question. If you want to, I'm good with it. I myself don't have that long an attention span. So it's Jupiter, the moon gliding over Jupiter, conjuncting Neptune, moving on Neptune. Obviously, lunar high for all Pisces everywhere. So That's my midheaven. It's good for your Virgo self. So it's very much a blessing. In fact, before, I have so many piles of stuff here. Before we went on the air, I said, since I don't have a clue, let's pick a goddess card for tonight. And that'll be our dedication of not just you and I, but the show. Okay? And I got Etain, whose name literally means shining one. She was a Celtic moon goddess, the second wife of Midir, the king of the underworld. His first wife was jealous of her and turned her into a fly. That's tacky, if you ask me. Falling into a glass of wine, Etain drowned. She was reborn and married Eocade, a fertility god. Ooh, but they got busy. Midir challenged her husband to a game of chess. The result was that Etain must spend half her year underground and half on Earth. She's especially a symbol of fertility, of vitality, and a life of all growing things. A goddess familiar with both life and death, she teaches that whenever we are, wherever we are, on Earth or in the depths of the underworld, we too can be the shining ones. That's just it. We can teach by example. There's no need to be people around the head and face. No, just be an example. And surprisingly enough, because cultures steal from each other, this is very much like the story of Persephone.
Oh, yeah. Did I tell you we have closed captions, Elle?
We do?
Yeah, they can read what you're saying. So enunciate. Really good.
I shall do just that, kind sir.
I'm the one you got to watch out for.
Well, no, I'm around you long enough, I start to draw too. Some things take root. I have called people sugar ever since the first time I went to New Orleans. Before I even had my timeshare in New Orleans, people were sugar because I thought, isn't that a nice thing to call people? Sugar.
Yeah.
Machon. Love
okay,
it.
Swan says we look good.
Oh, I look better than you do.
You're funny.
Yeah, I did stand up for 7 years. It's not for nothing.
Didn't mean to open Discord.
Till I found myself in the Bible Belt where they didn't quite understand me. And take a nap. I've heard the story before. I was in the Peachtree Hyatt on Peachtree Street in Atlanta, where everything is peach. I've not been able to stand peaches since then. And I was at some auditorium doing a show, and I got back, and it was late, and I didn't have dinner, and I thought, all I want, I'd like a bagel and a pot of coffee and a newspaper. Do my morning ritual at night. Why not? Who cares? Mix it up. So I called the front desk. They gave me room service. I got room service, and I said, I would like to have a newspaper, pot of coffee, and a bagel with cream cheese. And the man in room service said, well, Reverend, I can get y'all a pot of coffee. Be glad to get you a newspaper. But what you going to do with a hunting dog? So this man thinks I want a dog and cream cheese. Don't ask. Doesn't have to make sense. What are you doing? You're doing something.
I'm paying attention to the chat room.
And?
We're
getting there.
Great audio. Scott Overholt said hello.
Oh, Pendragon.
JC and Rory said hi.
Hi.
Great watching with you.
Excellent.
Rory's headed out on the road so she can go earn some money.
Hey, get to work.
Swampy's telling people how to get to our chats.
Oh, Swampus is the best. And he's not feeling well, so prayers for Swampus. There was something.
Yeah, one of these days I'm going to have him up here too.
There you go. So I'm thinking when you get to it, it might be a smart thing to tell people about where they can find podcasts once we get off the air.
Yeah. Okay. So far, you can find us at Anchor FM. You can find us at Spotify. Just look for Answers with the Astral Bag Lady or myself, Spirit Soaring, because they're being posted in both places. You can also find us, this is the fun one, on YouTube.
Yeah. Isn't it great?
And that one, after we get Dr. L used to dressing from the waist up and sitting in front of the camera.
I'm covered.
I'm teasing.
Got my face on.
Yeah. But after we get Elle to where she's ready to go live on the camera, we'll be simulcast there all the time.
Mm-hmm.
that one will run on repeat on YouTube 3 times a week.
Sweet.
Until we get built up to shows.
Very good.
And it'll just rotate through the shows when we're not actually doing live.
Nice. Kimberly Bethel says, love it. Or it's Bethel. Bethel. Thank you.
JC, that's JC's mom's.
Oh, sweet. Hi, moms. How you doing, sugar? How cool is that? That's wonderful. It's once again, this time between eclipses is so good for making changes that I am absolutely gobsmacked at how much you and Swampy have accomplished in 6 days.
Well, it helps that I can actually make plans in Void, of course, and make them work.
You might be a Void Moon baby.
It was around the time I was born, but I don't think I actually quite called it. But I think I was cognizant when it hit right after I was born.
Let's explain that. Because the moon changes signs from every 18 hours, every 2.5 days, at the end of a sign, before the moon goes into the next sign, it's called void of course. Now, a void of course moon is one of those cycles where things don't go the way you planned them to. It's good to be creative. It's great to journal, take medicine walks, drum, chew gum, talk to yourself. But as far as signing on the dotted line, it's actually worse than a retrograde Mercury. So when the moon is void, of course, just let life unfold like a beautiful flower. I have a friend, every void moon, when the weather is supportive, she goes to cemeteries and plants flowers on graves. How lovely. It's about making your life more beautiful and finding harmony. It's the rhythm and balance and harmony of life. Now, if you are born in a void moon, you've learned not to make a lot of plans, and the void moon is actually a powerful time for you. It's kind of like a lunar high. So if you proceed, well, look at your chart. If you don't have one, contact me. I can run you a quick natal and email it to you. Easy peasy. Contact me on Facebook, either L. Newman or Mother Peace Drum. They're both me, myself, and I. And I can run a chart. I will need your name, your date of birth, your time of birth, your city, state, and county of birth. If you don't have that, we can run one for noon, but that's not really, it's like a doctor reading half your chart, which I've had happen to me a lot recently. I don't recommend it. But void moon babies will function beautifully during the void moon because they know there's what I want to do, there's what I plan to do, and there's what's going to happen. And they meet it in the middle.
Yeah.
So it's
also, too, I got used to going at a lot of things backwards.
Hey, okay.
Yeah, I got used to going at a lot of things backwards. So I learned that in void, of course, a lot of things don't really work if you approach them head on.
True.
Now, if you approach them obliquely, like, I need to get some things done, but
I kind of hope I do.
I kind of hope I get them done, but I have the time to get them done. So I'm going to lay out this roadmap where, provided everything goes exactly according to nothing, everything done I need to get done. And people are like, how do you make a plan that goes according to nothing?
Give it to God.
Yeah.
Give it to God herself.
I told the creatrix what I needed to get done at the end of this void, of course, moon that we're getting ready to be in for the next 2.5 days. Fun. I told the creatrix what I needed to get done. And the creatrix said, did you pray on it? I said, yes, I did. The creatrix said, did you think about it from a bunch of different angles? And I said, yeah, I really did. So the creatrix said, okay, if you've thought about it from all the angles, did you cover Murphy? Well, yeah, I did. Because I could have gone, void, of course, prime. But Murphy said, you might not want to do that. But taking too many chances with me. Yeah. He said, why don't you wait until right before I'm done with this shit? Okay. And by the way, we don't have to actually refrain from adult language because I have posted this everywhere, even Facebook, as adult content. I'm being nice ahead of time.
You were nice with those last people, thanking them for the help they gave us, which was non-existent. Milk came out my nose. I read that milk. I wasn't drinking milk. Milk came out my nose. Well, I guess they understand that we're gone.
I had an old Spanish abuela
Mhm.
teach me how to put people properly in their place that have forgotten their manners.
Mhm.
She said the easiest way to do that is to manner them. Kill them with kindness. They shut up. They go away.
I tried that with the woman in question, the one who was also no help, not the couple. She doesn't get it.
Well,
And
the
if
way I,
she doesn't get it.
the way I left it, they couldn't even fuss about it.
Thanks a bunch. Moving
The
on.
way you had riled some feathers. We understand that. Your feathers. Okay.
Yeah,
The way
when
I
you're-
left them, even your riled feathers were understandable.
and
Can't say-
here's the deal. Giving us software that was going to die and not telling us to renew it in time for broadcast is sabotage.
Yeah.
Sabotage.
I mean, I could have paid the $20 that morning.
Oh, yeah.
I went and paid for something else that I needed to pay for. I could have paid the $20 that morning. Off the
Yeah.
board. Great.
Well, I told
But-
her I'm good for it. I mean, we reset everything, but sabotage. So it's like you're gonna
We
set
read-
me.
Look, we reset everything and we grew tenfold in the process.
And if you're gonna set me up for failure, I'm gonna let you know. Don't mess me over. Not fun. Not funny.
And if you're listening on StreamYard, guys, we have a tip jar.
A tip jar?
Yep.
Like in the bar.
Yeah.
All right. He's cute.
Well-
Well, one thing we must reinforce: this is not a crass commercial endeavor. We're here for you. I've got my cards. I got my dice. If you have questions, chat room's working already.
I've
Yay.
got the bones. I've got my deck.
Yep,
I've got 12 other decks in the house. I've
we're
got
good to go.
others that I can put to work. Come on, hit me.
Watch your language, Mercury's retrograde.
Look, they said we couldn't do it. We're doing it.
I know.
They said we couldn't
days
do it. Look,
later.
they said we couldn't do it with video. We're half video.
The good half.
Said we couldn't get paid for it. I already got L paid with a repost of an old podcast.
Sweet.
They
But
said
it's not about money. It's about helping people help themselves.
it only paid like 3 cents, but hey, we made money.
Well, if you could make them wheat pennies, I collect those, you know. I don't know why. I just do. I'm crazy like that. In fact, we have one that's supposed to be worth $1 million. It's tin. And that's what we
I
said.
have one of the 19
Don't touch it.
steel wheat pennies. It's in better than good BG condition.
Mhm.
It was San Francisco Mint
Nice.
print.
Nice.
It's worth more than a penny, but not much.
When Courtney was selling her house, this is how synchronicity works. When Courtney was selling her house, it was the week before the bug, the week before. And the first couple that looked at the house bought it. And she was worried about it selling because they'd worked on it for 3 years, put a lot of money into it. And I had, last time I was in New Orleans, I got an ounce of silver. Okay, about the size of a $50. And also silver, which is, I think, $30. I'm not sure. And I gave it to her. I said, put this in your purse and feel what it's like to be prosperous. Just feel it. I said, you know me, I put you 2 kids through college, self-employed. Okay. No bennies, no backup, no help. I made it happen. Okay. If I had ever doubted that for a moment, I would have failed, but I didn't doubt. I knew the universe would provide me what I deserve to have, especially when it comes to taking care of my family. So put it in her purse, took it with her. Like I said, the first couple looked at the house, bought it. And that was the Friday before the Monday of the bug. How's that for timing? When things are meant to come together, they come together. And truthfully, the awful things that happened in that other place were a grand incentive for me to get out of Dodge.
Yeah.
And that last one was beyond insulting. That was you dirty dog.
It was either retire or grow into something that they couldn't compete with. And neither one of us are ready to retire.
I will never retire.
Right. I feel
Because
the same way.
my
Tracy has a question for you.
oh, sure.
She says, how are my upcoming travels looking?
Alrighty, hang in there. Let me get my cards. And then remind me, I have one more aspect to talk about. Bet your aspect. Ooh, boop, 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 boop. She taking beans?
We're actually all going on the road together.
Beautiful, because you know exactly what it takes to make a comfortable home.
Uh-huh.
So you'll have your sacred space, you'll have your nest. It's like I remember J.C. Eaglesmith telling me that why a medicine man always has a pouch of soil in his pocket or on a necklace. Yeah, because Mother Earth is your home. We're all gypsies. Yeah. That's why I sent you the soil from the cemetery at Wounded Knee.
I know.
Because it's your home as much as it's my home. And I'm increased as a person every time I go there. Every time. But anyhow, it doesn't feel like a lot of money, but it feels like whatever money you make is going to get reinvested.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Look, our goal with this isn't to get rich off of it. It never was. Our goal that we don't have to keep paying for it to keep it going.
Sure.
Our goal with this is so that the computer pays for itself. The software pays for itself.
Computer's paid for. Software's paid for.
Yeah. The broadcast time pays for itself. You know,
done.
Over time, all we want is to be able to help the people that want to listen to us.
Exactly.
JC wanted to know if travel is going to be good. You said travel is going to be excellent because they're traveling with their home on their backs.
Yeah, and without beans, it wouldn't work.
Yeah, without beans, it would not work. But
without beans, there'd be like a hole where your heart used to be. Yeah, it's because you'll be well organized.
Yeah.
You'll take gosh darn near everything you need. I remember old Bessie, where you couldn't see out the back window. So you know how to pack.
Look, we're looking at doing an RV that's a couple of years old. And there again, we're trying to make the business pay for itself. So we're traveling the winter and fall or the fall and winter circuit. So if you're be looking at Fort of Black Con for our itinerary, if you're in one of the areas where we're going to be, drop us a line, set up a session, come out and see us at whatever event we're at.
Absolutely.
We're keeping the tip jars open because we want to keep helping the people we help. We're keeping the cats going because, and that's something else I want to bring up while I'm here.
Sure.
Elle and I and Swampy have started a chat forum on Discord. If you ever have a question for the good Dr. Reverend L. Newman or myself or even Swampy, hit us up on Discord. Look for the Astral Bag Lady on Discord server and ask your question. One of us will relay the question to the person that needs to get it, and we'll get an answer to you.
Excellent.
Because for me, this is all about service.
Exactly.
This is all about paying back, paying forward. Because a lot of people have helped me over time, and a lot of people.
Oh, people that don't realize it. People that don't realize it have been a blessing to me. A blessing. So yeah, we must pay it forward. That's why we're here. There's no greed. There's no self-involvement. I've had to twist his arm behind him and kick him in the good hip to get Spirit to even put his name on the show. And I said, your name comes before mine. And he was like, well, okay. Yeah. And Swampy, also known as Stephen Fritchen, is our sound and production manager. Whereas Greg Burris, also known as Spirit Soaring, is our executive producer. We have a staff.
We have a staff. We even have a research staff.
And the potential.
I'm research assistant number 1 and number 2.
And the potential this has is absolutely unlimited. That's the beauty of it. And we can now reach out to people all around the world, not just, somewhere between here and Milwaukee. With nothing wrong with Milwaukee, but it's nice to have a little better. Okay. Sing says, how's her luck on the journey? Okay, let's go see.
Oh, she wants to play with luck. She likes to play with Murphy. That's my sweetie.
There's no such thing as luck. There's only timing. But I get a sense that there's a real strong presence that's with her because she's innocent.
Mm-hmm.
She's guileless. She's genuine with people, and they can feel that before she says a word. So I do sense one or two Bible thumpers along the way. Gosh, I love those people because I take them aside and say, "How do you do, Reverend Del Newman here? Did you know the Bible is folklore?" And then their steam comes out their ears, and they look at me like, "How dare she?"
Scientific proof that
Yes,
big chunks of the Bible are folklore.
oh yeah,
The time of the Great Flood that they put in the Bible.
Mhm.
Okay, there are 12 different civilizations that existed through the whole period.
Mhm.
And through the whole period, okay, including one of the Chinese dynasties, one of the early Chinese dynasties. It was extant through the whole flood period, and they never reported any flood.
and they didn't float away. Guess what time it is, boys and girls?
It's time for a spot.
It's time for a spot. So I guess I'll find one. What do you say? What do you think? What do you know? What do you?
Well, I would like to thank our platform, StreamYard,
Yes,
for offering us this wonderful chance to be in front of you today. They
absolutely.
are full service. They are easy to use. Pretty much fire and forget. It astounded me. It was so easy, and I was the one arguing with Swampy. We need to go with this other platform because it looks like it'll do more. This one does everything, from banner to a chat thread. I mean, I have a private chat thread over here. When we figure that out, we'll have it up and running for everybody.
Excellent.
We're to do call-ins. I can even invite people to come onto the camera with us, ask their question, and then back them out of the show.
Nice.
So yeah, lots of flood mythos there, Swampy. He said there's good beer in Milwaukee.
Nice cheese. They have nice cheese. Nice people. Pretty lakes. The flood for us was August of 2015 when enterprising thieves went to the intersection of 696 and I-75 and stole the copper plumbing out of the pumping station. No, at which point it all backed up. People were bobbing up and down on I-75 with canoes, and my neighborhood, because that's where I live, we had 4 feet of primal soup in the basement. You can't bail that quickly.
It was good stuff.
You know what's scary was people were putting their basement stuff on the curb, and folks were renting trailers to pick it up. And I'm on the porch like, E. coli, it's caca.
E. coli.
Die. Don't take it. There's not enough bleach. Never mind. They're the same people going to parties and not wearing masks. So never mind.
Sheeple will prove themselves out. Okay. And
this is true.
I'm sorry if you're one of those people that considers yourself a sheeple. We like to refer to them on the show as the walk around dead.
Yes.
Because they walk around completely oblivious to what's really going on around them.
And they make absolutely no contribution to society. That's really dead. Now, I want to share this with you. This is about healers. It's a healer's prayer. I will not rescue you, for you are not powerless. I will not fix you, for you are not broken. I will not heal you, for I see you in your wholeness, and you can heal yourself. I will walk with you through the darkness, and you remember always that you are the light that guides you home. Isn't that pretty?
That is pretty.
I like pretty things.
Sings and I were talking the other day. You know, she's been doing a lot of shadow work for some people, trying to help them walk out of some traumas.
Sure.
She asked me, she said, is there a reason why I really need to go outside like 7 or 8 times a day and dance? I said, well, honey, if you think about it, you're spending so much time in the shadow working, trying to help people illuminate
Exactly.
those so they can find their way out, that you need to recharge. You need to get out there in the sun and
Breathe fresh air.
you. And like you said, there's an innocence to things, a godlessness to things that just blows people away. They're like, how can you be so good? How can you be so altruistic?
Exactly.
She says, because I know hurt, because I know pain, and you don't deserve it.
And for those of us who work in the healing realm right now, I will darn Skippy betcha that every one of us has been a wounded healer at one time or another. And there's nothing sadder than a wounded healer. So once they come back to center and once they get healed, they want to share that with other people who are open to it. We don't dump this. I don't dump readings on people. None of that. It's impure. But anyone who needs a healing, it's there. The energy's there for you.
Check out Sings with Owls at Four of Like Kind. She does
absolutely
a thing called Sacred Womb Healing Therapy, and it deals with the traumas of life. Whether you're male or female, the sacred feminine is in you. The sacred womb is part of your existence.
Exactly.
Getting that healing is a good way to lighten the load of baggage. Let's put it that way.
And the byproduct of that is always inner peace. One more thing. We really need to thank Heather Coffey, because she's the one who turned me on to stream something. Yeah, Anchor. Yeah, she turned me on to Anchor. So I did not know it existed. I only knew there had to be a better way. I just knew it. So it was like God provided, because I'm kind of clueless. And within minutes, Heather was online saying, check this out. It'll take you to 5 different platforms. How lovely. And the good grows exponentially. Yes, it does. Now, the next aspect, and this is a heavy hitter, but good. Remember, it's good. On June 15th, Saturn, which is in Aquarius, retrograde right now, is going to square Uranus, the planet of crazy pants. Saturn is about discipline and structure and recipes and lists and orders and doing things in the right order so they're done correctly. You don't have to do it again. Uranus says, yeah, but we can make that better. So when you take this planted energy and Uranus, which is basically electricity, what do you get, boys and girls? You get ground lightning. Now, I've been hit by ground lightning twice now. But I knew it wouldn't die because we had an engineer when we were back on CBS who backed into the generator, got a little too close, and did that funny dance. You know, that dance you do, that dance. And he said when it happened to him, that all the hair on his arm burned off and crispy things and fell off. So both times now, I've looked at my arm and oh, look, I still have hair. I guess it's not that bad. It gets your attention. And that some people just have to be smacked around the head and shoulders lovingly just to get their attention. Hold their nose, make them breathe, you know? And that's what Saturn Uranus will do. It speeds up. And Uranus, remember, is about pure, undiluted humanitarianism. And what you do to the least of us, you do to the rest of us. What happened to those 215 babies should have never happened. Ever, ever, ever. But I'm not going to question the divine spirit. Let's say that it needed to happen so we could all get educated as to just how horrible the situation was. I cannot imagine. I don't think there's ever been a century where we didn't have atrocities or war committed in the name of religion, which is why I'm a minister. I am very spiritual. I'm not religious. I'm a spiritualist. That's my religion.
I will pull people away from that precipice if given the chance.
Mm-hmm.
Because I believe people like you and I, people like Sings, people like Rory Whispers, hold themselves to higher standards.
Exactly.
Now, I can off a couple of hundred people that hold themselves to the standards we hold ourselves to, but preachers usually don't make that list.
True.
You know, the conventional preacher.
Sure.
Because, for one, they're preaching from a pulpit filled with lies.
True.
And that's something I won't do. I won't preach to you from a pulpit filled with lies. I will give you truth. And I know you're the same way. You are adamant about truth. You are adamant about.
That's right. Hurt my
Okay.
feelings. Hurt my feelings. Tell me I'm fat and I have 52 chins. I will embrace that. Don't tell me you're my friend and then go behind my back and say something else. That's what we had in that last place
Right.
with Mr. I'll give you adequate notice, and it was 4 minutes. No, that's a lie, boys and girls. And in my world, you get a chance to lie to me once. A bell rings. An angel doesn't get their wings, but a bell rings, and the room fills up with sulfur. And then, because I'm human, I start going back over every conversation we had, wondering, was that a lie? Was that a lie? Was that a lie?
Right.
Let's assume it was. So
Well,
Casey's
the
here. Hi,
problem-
Casey.
The problem with lies, you have to keep them up. You have to maintain them.
You have to write them down on a 3x5 card and stick them in your underwear and refer to them for the rest of your
Unless
life.
you have an eidetic memory for everything that comes out of your mouth. Yeah. I have an eidetic memory, but I don't remember everything that comes out of my mouth.
I don't listen. I have a weird memory. We were doing something the other day, and Lisa needed my routing number and my account number for the bank account. And I
You
went
rattled it off.
041000124. And she, you know that? Yes, I know that. Now you want the account number? I give you the account number. She said, wow. Why? But I'm a numerologist, so numbers stick with me. They just do.
Yeah.
This is a 5-year. 5 is anything can happen.
5 means that I get to let the Heyoka out the box and play.
Yeah.
I get to make magic.
Yes.
We had a student over the other day, and a lot of people don't believe in physical magic because it's just something that doesn't exist, right? Even though walking around in a world that's been processed by alchemy their life, they don't understand that physical magic and higher math are pretty much the same thing.
Yeah. It's not bunnies out of hats.
No, it's not bunnies out of hats. It's
numbers equate to music. Numbers, degrees in your astrological chart relate to musical notes. And I know a man who can reproduce your natal chart as a piece of music. It's only like $1,200, so I haven't quite got around to it yet.
pricey. But
Yeah.
it sounds fun.
Yeah, it's interesting.
If
5.
you give me your natal chart, I can translate it into math. If I can
There you
translate
go.
math, I can translate it into music.
And you can just read the outside, the house cusps of your chart, and I can tell you what cycle you're going in. In a 1 cycle, it's all about me. In a 2 cycle, it's about money. In a 3, it's about communication, and on and on and on. And that's a constant. That's the rest of your life, like your
I'm
fingerprints.
lucky I was born a server.
Yeah, me too.
Everything's going your way, so you got to help everybody else.
It's impure not to. When I studied with Diane Batung, who's the sea dancer from the Gene Houston Mystery Schools, we did a shape-shifting workshop. I'm the only one that did, so I didn't get to see it. And then she sent us out to find a symbol of what we needed to do, to touch to our inner magic and be the most creative in our lives. And we're on this college campus. People are coming back with peacock feathers and gemstones, and I'm walking around going, I can't see a gosh darn thing. So in the back, you know me, in the back, there's this fence that's chained shut, and there's this big sign saying, keep out. El Newman, this means you. So I, of course, had to go in there. So I squoze through. I pulled the gates apart as best I could, squoze through in my little beige suit, squoze through. I wandered around, and in just a little bit inside, maybe 30, 40 yards, something sparkled. And I thought, oh, I'm going to find a gemstone. No. So there I am in my beige linen suit, digging like a puppy dog, trying to get this thing out of the ground. It was a plate. It was a bone china plate. So Sea Dancer had set up this altar where we bring all our, totem symbol things. And I'm in the kitchen with a Brillo pad trying to clean up this stupid plate. And I mutter. And she walked in and she said, well, what's the problem? And I said, people are getting feathers and flowers and beautiful stuff. And I got this stupid plate. And she said, wait a minute. She said, haven't you told me? I'm sure one of the first things you said when we were doing this analysis that it was your life goal to serve. And I went, oh, what a nice plate. I still have it.
I will reiterate this once again for those in the back that weren't listening to begin with.
Okay, listening ears.
Careful what you ask for, because it's all.
That's right. I always ask for funny men, and the last one was a crossdresser. You never know.
There's nothing wrong with them if you
Lisa,
know what you're getting when you go into it.
If you tell me, we can visit. Lisa, are these your panties? No. Courtney, are these your panties? No, they're not mine. Oh, they're misters. We'll just leave them there.
Mhm.
Live and learn. Live
Look,
and learn.
I served in one of those crazy units that doesn't exist on paper anywhere anymore with a guy that swore by silken undergarments.
Nice.
Okay. And
classy.
He wore silken undergarments under everything. I'm talking. He wore a silken camisole under his flak jacket, so it didn't shake.
Nice. Well, of course.
He wore silken boy shorts under his trousers so that nothing got trapped under his underwear and stayed to as an irritant.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good choice. Good choice.
My sea daddy, he told me, he said, that guy over there, he does his thing, he does it his way, and we usually always end up laughing at him because the idea is not to get the sand in the butt crack, not to let it get in and get out.
Not pleasant.
Right. So
not pleasant.
He taught us, what my sea daddy taught us was spandex bike shorts work.
Sometimes.
Most of the time, until the spandex around your legs gives out, it keeps the sand out.
True. But some people,
Swamp,
be
did they have skis marks?
That's my ex too. Oh, so many things we learned through marriage. It's just amazing. Friend of mine was jogging in like those, not nylon, but some kind of jogging shorts, right?
Yeah.
And so he's jogging past an elementary school when a storm rolls in, a Michigan storm, the kind that comes sideways. And so he ducks into a doorway, not realizing it's an elementary school, and kind of, flapping his shorts to try and dry things out, making a fool of himself. And the principal came out and called the police on him.
Oh, boy.
Flasher in the parking lot. It wasn't his intention, but, he's an Aquarius. Strange things happen to Aquarius people. They get to tell funny stories after the fact. Like me, like myself with we have such storms in Michigan, and I myself am a tornado chaser. So when it's really bad, I stand on the porch and watch stuff fly by. Animals go to ground because they have sense. Me, no. But I used to get strapped to an open Jeep and follow tornadoes. So just standing on the porches, chances are I'm not going to get hit. So we had the storm. Power line came down and fell into my 42-foot, 8-foot deep pool. It's dancing like a snake. So I called Edison, which is now DTE, and said, problem, power line is dancing around my pool. Oh, where do you live? Told them, 518 Park Avenue, Relic, Michigan. And they said, and where's the line coming from? It's coming from the street light. Oh, that's not our problem. You got to call the city. Well, get off the phone. I got 10 minutes. So I called. And I met a guy named Matt McGregor, who's now my very best personal friend. And I said, here's the thing. I said, there's this power line. It's dancing around my pool. And Edison won't turn it off because they say that's your job. No, that's their job. I'll call them. So he called them. Then he called me back and he said, they're sending out an inspector to make sure it's a power line. Well, it's sparking. It's arcing. And if it blows, that pool is going to end up in my basement. This is not a pretty thing. Okay. So the guy comes out with a clipboard, pencil behind his ear, looks at me and goes, yeah, that's a power line. Yeah. Belongs to the city. I said, no, call Mr. McGregor. He'll tell you it's your job. So he called him. In the meantime, I went and put on a pair of boots, got my rubber gloves and a rake, and I pulled the power line out of the pool. Now it's dancing around the yard. Guy walks back. Whoa, it jumped out. I said, yes, it certainly did. I'm standing there in my yellow rubber kitchen gloves, the rake in my hand. Sure, it did. Don't even question. Don't even question. So it took them another 6 hours to send out a work crew. And by now, It had danced all the way back to a couple of yards of firewood at the back of my yard. We're talking seasoned firewood. Okay. And
Stuff.
now, mind you, we still had power to the house. We just didn't have a street light. So 2 guys from the Edison truck who had already overworked, probably from Ohio, because they call in from other states when there's massive blackouts, came to the house, knocked on the door. You Reverend Newman? Yes, I am. Where's the power line? I said, look for the sparks. So they went out, and here's this giant, I mean, the firewood it had to be up off the ground 18 inches, but it's stacked up as high as a 6-foot fence. So one of them is standing on this firewood, which is crumbling underneath him, moving around. And for the first time in my life, I said, wait a minute. They got these little pen lights, little mag lights, little bitty ones, like you used to find your keys in your pocket. And I said, yeah, give me a minute. And I went in the house and I turned on the floodlights and I said, this is a once in a lifetime opportunity because I got to turn on the lights for Edison. How cool is that? Yep. Yep. That's an Aquarian story. The weirdest things that happen make the best fun stories. And the guy from the inspector with his pencil. Well, ground lightning goes wherever it wants to, and it can come right up your fence. It's a wooden fence. Come right up your fence and zap you. Thank you, sir. Appreciate your help. It's like Comcast saying, how else can we help you? You could go out of business. That'd be the single best help I could have. Thank you.
Look, Edison created myths to avoid responsibility, and they did it for a generation.
Sure.
Okay. The ground lightning is not actually coming from the ground. It's because they didn't properly ground something. And it's released a static charge into the ground, which when it reaches a certain barometric pressure and a certain humidity level, that spark that traveled from that improper ground into the ground is going to leave the ground. It didn't generate in the ground. It generated on the pole that they didn't ground. But they don't want you to know that because they could have done it Tesla's way and you'd have never had to pay for power.
That makes too much sense. Conversely, Thomas Edison told a wonderful story about trying to create the light bulb, right? And he was in his studio, which is actually a barn at Menlo Park. And he's working on light bulbs, and all of a sudden one of them sparked, set the barn on fire. And he called his son. He said, come here, come here, come here. And his son comes running. What? Well, the barn's on fire. Shall we put it out? Too late for that. But I want you to run and get your mother. And it says, why would I run and get my mother? And he goes, because she's not going to see this pretty of fire in a very long time. It's attitude. If you have the right attitude when things go pear-shaped, you can move past it. If you get stuck on stupid, more stupid stuff's going to happen. It's that indwelling spirit of victimhood, which always calls into your life people who victimize you. If you fear emotional abandonment, what do you get? If you fear financial problems, what do you get? And like you said, be careful what you ask for. It's on the way. It's on the way. I never in my wildest dreams had an idea, the germ seed of an idea, that this would move so smoothly, this transition, and that it would grow so exponentially. That's just amazing. Although that's Jupiter and Pisces. When you do something for the right reason with a spiritual base to it, the universe itself will support you.
Well, it's like Singh said. We were very limited in a very limited format. I just needed a little bit of inspiration to reset boundaries. And, truthfully, I've been sharing a morning missive for almost 3 years now.
Which is brilliant.
I have almost 1,000 views a day.
Nice.
On the average.
1,001, you got me.
Now, if I can garner that from a 2-minute clip in the morning, and the people that come back and say, man, were you talking to me? I'm like, no, I really wasn't talking. Well, if you weren't talking to me, man, what you said actually helped me 100%. I'm like, well, if I don't name your name, and I go through this about once every 3 months with the missive. If I don't name your name in the missive, I'm not talking directly to you. But if what I said benefits you, feel free. Okay. And if you know somebody, and it's like with this and the podcast, if you know somebody that what we talk about is going to help, feel free to share it. Feel free to pass it along. Okay. The more you share it, the more people we're helping, the more people you're helping us help. Right?
Yes. It's because the truth resonates within people. Just like I can smell a liar before they say their lie, the truth resonates clearly.
She's
Nobody
sitting over here nodding her head.
Hi, honey. I love that jewelry you had on. Anyhow, nobody can teach you anything. No one can teach you anything that you don't know is true. That's why the real work for a teacher is an instructor, because to instruct is to draw from. I draw from my well of really funky and sometimes entertaining experiences to share with you how I've dealt with certain transits and life experiences. And you can go back and compare it to what you've done. You're drinking Mountain Dew? Mountain Dew.
Yeah, liquid plumber.
Looks like antifreeze. At least it's not the blue one. My son-in-law drinks the blue one for breakfast, a 2-liter.
I am weaning myself off of it. I'm up to 12 cups of coffee a day.
Well, now I've discovered now that I'm cutting back on my Red Bull, which you thought I wouldn't live long enough to do. I've maybe 2 cans a day of the 0 calorie, which is better than 150 or 160, whatever it is. But I do have an unhealthy attachment to my espresso machine. She's my goddess.
I'm always researching. I see something that catches my eye.
Mm-hmm.
I have to read up on it. And I'm not that amateur research artist. I don't Google 3 times and I've done all my research.
That's it. Yeah.
Well, I pick up Grey's Anatomy. I dig through reams of volumes. I've Google the heck out of stuff, and then if Google doesn't give me the answers I'm looking for, I pick something else up deeper.
Yeah.
I saw something about coffee. As long as we kill that oil slick on the coffee, we're actually doing ourselves a favor by drinking the coffee in most cases.
Sweet.
If you got a hiatal hernia, you might want to limit the amount of cream you put in your coffee. You might want to limit the amount of sugar you put in your coffee. But the coffee is a diuretic, and it's going to help you shed some of that water weight. It's going to help shed some of that stuff you don't need to carry. And if you're one of those caffeine freaks that's drinking tons and tons and tons of hey, take me, Mountain Dew, just to stay awake, just to keep functioning so you can help people, the coffee is gentler on your system as long as you use the right sugar and limit the cream. The coffee doesn't have all of the added additives that my drink of choice does. So I'm being honest. Sodium benzoate's a preservative that'll pickle a liver in no time at all if you lay it in a petri dish and pour it on top.
Lovely.
So imagine the damage I've done, which is why I drink a lot of detox teas and fusses at me to push water, and I try.
Tries 50-50.
We're both quitting cigarettes this month, so I'm getting those.
Oh, golly.
We're going on the road in an RV for 9 months. I don't want to have to stop every hour and a half.
No.
Neither does she.
No.
And we'll be healthier, and we won't spend nearly as much money.
Mm-hmm. How much is a pack of cigarettes?
You don't want to know.
Yeah, I do. How much?
It's $10 a pack out here.
Okay, now
that's for organic cigarettes. The non-organic cigarettes actually cost you $12.50 a pack out here.
Kill me now. Last time I was on the res, they were $25 a carton, and in Canada they were $25 a carton. I'm proud to say I taught in Windsor 5 days a week for 3 years, sometimes 6, and I never once crossed that bridge without some kind of contraband. Now, every once in a while, here's the thing about crossing the bridge. It's a lovely bridge. Every once in a while, you're going to get pulled over. It's a numbers game. They're going to pull you over. So they pulled me over one day. The guy took my passport away. Oh, lovely. pulled me over, took my passport, put it in his pocket, and told me that I couldn't take my drums across the border. I was teaching drumming, trying to do it without drums. Couldn't take my drums across the border because goats are an endangered species. Are you with me?
Everybody's special.
I know. So then they had to call Fish, Game, and Wildlife to tell him that goats are not an endangered species. I think he was ticked off because he was from like Haiti, and now he's Detroit, Windsor, where we have winter. Boy, all the way up to Memorial Day. My furnace was on yesterday. My furnace. And I had the windows open and I didn't care. Yeah.
It got down to 42 last night. We had about 60 today.
We're have 90 Sunday. So we're going from 40 to 90 in a week. Tell me that makes sense.
We're supposed to be back to 80 by Friday.
There you go.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. We are survivors.
Swampy said he was driving the band truck. He's been searched every time too.
I know. It's like, and so, okay. So I go in there and this lady comes out. They have a woman on, and it's always on the Detroit side. It's never on the Canadian side. They're sweet. Michigan side, US side, they're evil. Well, no, they're just attitudinal. This lady walks out. This woman is the one who sits at her computer and types wearing rubber gloves. She wants you to know she's going to dig deep. Okay. So she comes out and she gets ready to open the tailgate to my Jeep. And I said, brace yourself. She's expecting like a dead body. And I said, I've just been drumming for 3 days and my clothes smell like a locker room. I said, so you might want to hold your nose. Okay. So she opens it up. Sure enough, smell like a locker room. And she goes all through, check the ashtray, looked under the seats. Nothing. You can't find it, Missy. It's in my bra. So we go inside and I sit down and reading all the pamphlets because there's not much to do when you're in customs. And I hear the agent yelling at Fish, Game, and Wildlife. Fish, Game, and Wildlife is calling him a stupid bleep. And it's like, no, goats aren't endangered. What's wrong with you, man? So I'm sitting there and one of the guys next to him walked out and he says, you still here? And I said, well, yeah, I don't want to miss the strip search. I don't have a lot of excitement in my life. And he goes, no, really, why are you here? And I said, because Doofus over there has my passport in his pocket. And he goes, I'll be right back. And he came back, handed me my passport. Have a nice day, Reverend Newman. Thank you, sir. There you go.
Look, I unconsciously carried contraband across the border 3 times.
Huh. 5 years. 5 years.
Well,
3 to 5, 5 days a week.
I didn't know the first time that what I had that could have been considered contraband was actually contraband until I was actually in Canada. The person that I gifted it with said, ooh, you got it across the border. Damn, I didn't know.
I have a friend who was strip searched because she had a questionable seed in her ashtray. Strip search is like, really? How do you get all the luck? It's just not fair.
The second time across the border, I inadvertently got in my car after smoking up. Really? And we drove to the border crossing, and the U.S. guy, the guy coming back into the U.S.
stinkers,
and decided to be a stinker about it. And he had me pull over, and the guy that they actually sent over to investigate was a former Canadian Mountie that had spent 9.5 years in the Marine Corps, 3 of which were attached to my unit.
Nice.
And he looked at me and said, hello, Marine. I said, hello, Marine. He said, you smell like herb. I said, yeah, I just smoked some. Why? He said, did you bring any with you? I said, not to my knowledge. You're more than welcome to check if you want to. He said, no, have a good day. I said, cool, man. Have a good day, Marine. He said, Semper Fi, brother. I said, Semper Fi. We got on the road, had made it maybe 10 minutes inside of Detroit, and I reached over in my pocket and somebody my pocket. I know who it was, so I called him and said, "Were you trying to get me caught?" He said, "No, man, no, really. I thought that if you smoked it right before you got to the bridge, Sings wouldn't be a paranoid, nervous wreck."
Yeah, pull over at
Well,
McDonald's.
you could have told me that you put it in my pocket.
That would be nice. Well, now we missed our break. When we get this together, we'll have a race. I used to travel with this really nice bunch of lovely women. And we like to prank each other. Okay. And as you know, flying's not fun anymore, but this is back when flying was semi-fun, but they were still fierce about going through your carry-ons. And so somebody, I don't know who, had purchased a large black sex toy and chucked it in my luggage. So here I am, the Reverend. Yeah, I'm the Reverend with this whole lineup behind me, and my bag goes under the thing, beep, and they pull me over, and three huge men wearing hush puppies and Santa belt pants come squeaking over to me. What is that? Oh, no. Did it hop in there? I have no idea. So they opened my luggage. There it was. Fine. So now the ritual is you have to pass it on to somebody else the next time, preferably somebody home. So I was traveling with this really nice bunch of women, and there was this very nice lady named Faith. I thought, well, Faith has a sense of humor. We can do this. And so at one point we shared a bathroom, and I chucked it in her overnight bag. And sure enough, she goes through customs, beep, and they pull her over. The woman was a nun. She was a nun.
Oh, goodness.
She looked at me. She said, Reverend. I said, what, sister? She goes, I am a sister. I just thought they called you sister because we're all sisters here. Oh, my God. Well, it disappeared. I don't know what she did with it. I never asked. I don't want to know. I know it didn't make it home with her. So somewhere in a dumpster or an ashtray. Yeah. And those aren't, it wasn't a Wish one. It was one of those that sticks to the wall, which is something else. I don't want to understand that. I really, no. Talk about the walls closing in on you, huh? No. Pricey. It wasn't like the Wish, 46 toys for $19.
Right. It was probably,
which I fear.
That. I can understand the pranks, playing them back and forth across the board. When my little brother told me, I now live on the third floor. You can't get into my apartment.
Oh, that's a challenge. Now you have to.
I proceeded to ice him and his girlfriend down in bed the next morning. He's like, how did you get in? Climbed up that balcony to that balcony and right in the door because you left it open.
You don't tell a contrary. They can't do something. The minute I saw that sign that said, keep out, this means you, L. Newman, it was like, watch me. Watch me. In I went. Question authority. That's an Aquarian thing. Question authority. One of the greatest exercises you can do in this cycle is to think back on all your mentors, those authority figures you had in your life, and how would they have dealt with life as it is today? Because there's no such thing. The only normal I have in my life is the setting on my dryer. Okay?
That's easy for me because my mentor is on the opposite end of this line, and she just smiles and laughs it off.
Well, and sometimes I do put my foot up your butt. Lovingly, I lube it first. I go, hey,
if I deserve it.
Yeah, you do.
If I deserve it.
You worry like a woman. Oh my God, he's PMSing again. I told Lisa, I said, he's got more PMS than you and I put together. I'm waiting for womenopause to hit him. We'll have to send him some Amberen and lotions and tell him about the hot flashes. Whoa, my Lord.
I went through that like 4 years ago. You missed it.
Aw.
I actually went through part of that while we were on the road, and whoa.
That had to be enjoyable.
Look, hey, I loved it some of the time because it was like 22 degrees when we were camping in Telluride.
No, thank you.
I was a furnace. So, she just curled up next to me to warm up. But no, it wasn't pleasant. It was a thing that I would not willingly undergo again. And you know me,
Life is like that sometimes.
I've put myself through the tribulations of man twice.
Yeah.
Through menopause again.
Yeah. No, in your case, it's womenopause. Mine's menopause. There's a difference.
Right. Menopause.
Yeah. There's a distinct difference. I think as a woman, and the women will agree with me, the universe has a great way of humbling us. Often. There's certain indignities visited upon your body that you didn't really want to see happy. The other day, I posted a thing about, I was like naked gardening or something, or going without a bra when it's hot. Oh no, I sleep in one, but I share too much. And so my friend from Florida wrote back and said, but it's really freeing. You just wear a tank top and no bra. And I said, look, I could probably do that now, but there will be a day, not to call it in, but I know for a fact that gravity gets us all. And there will be a day when my 36 Ds are 42 longs. And I'll be playing soccer with them. Okay? No.
Actually, some of the studies, and I've helped direct women to those studies, wearing a bra for 45, 50 years actually deteriorates what could have been good muscle.
That's fine.
Good tissue. Women that go without bras tend to not ever sag unless they are really, really large. And
36D.
Then they're sagging already just a little bit from.
As my grandpa said, more than a champagne glass is already too much. Okay?
I'm not going to disagree with him.
And I've had these since I was 9. I woke up on my 9th birthday and went, oh, geez. No training, ain't nothing to train. It's here. It's here.
But that statement only applies to men that haven't figured out that there's more to
come on.
Woman happy than motorboating a couple of times and moving on to something else.
True.
A woman with ample bosoms is a wonderful playground if you want to take the time to play in that playground.
Mm-hmm.
My sweetie has wonderful bosoms, and I love to play in her playground, but they're not large. They're comfortable.
You're not going to smother.
No, she's not going to smother me unless
I could put a laptop. You know the pencil test where you put a pencil under your boob, see if you can hold it? I could put a laptop, phone book, my cell phone, tire pump.
Not a good habit, by the way.
Carton of cigarettes. Well, it is what it is.
PSA here right quick. I'm going to make a PSA.
Yes, please do.
Look, ladies, putting your $900 wonderful bejeweled encrusted iPhone or Samsung or whatever it is in your bra.
Oh, I never do that.
Is asking Murphy to give you cancer. Okay.
Mom says 48 triple D is just too much for anyone. Oh, that's deadly. That's one of those, don't bend over, don't move too quickly, don't stand up too fast. Center of gravity's in the wrong place.
My sister was graced about the same way as Ma Bethel. And my sister complained that running without some severe pain was an invitation to black eyes. And she wasn't joking.
My daughter thought it would be a lark to take an African dance class when she went to Wayne State. And I was one of the drummers, okay? It was obscene. She said, how'd it look? I said, remember when you ran track last year? She went, oh. So she took to like a small size sports bra just to leash them in. Sometimes you have to. Sometimes you must. I want to share this because we can't forget about these beautiful children who are our spiritual teachers, as are all First Nations people. As I said before, I'll say it again. Eventually you'll hear me. First Nations people should not come last. When they buried the children, what they didn't know, that they were lovingly embraced by the land. They were held and cradled in a mother's heart. The trees wept bitter tears for them, and the wind sang a song, a mourning song that their mothers couldn't figure out how to sing. Bending branches touched the earth around them. They were caressed. The great Creator Spirit cried for them, tears falling like gentle rain. Mother Earth held them until they could be found. Now our voices sing that morning song within the trees, the wind, and the light around the sacred fire ensures they will never be forgotten as we sing for justice. That's from Abigail Echohawk. I love native names. They're so
I read
descriptive.
that this morning. That was a beautiful.
Isn't it, though?
Poem.
That's just it. This is a cycle. I mean, I've always been into minutia. It's a thing I do. I'm a Mercury Neptune child. But sometimes words will so resonate within you that it changes you as a person.
True.
Just by using the right affirmations, I am whole, I am healed, I'm prospering in every way, will make that happen. You have to believe it, but you say it enough times, it's going to happen. The great Creator Spirit owns all the cattle on all the hills. I myself want for nothing. I had a man go off on me once, well, more than once, but one particular man who pretended to be some kind of guru because he asked me how things are going. I said, couldn't be better. Couldn't be better. Oh, you're limiting it. You're limiting your prosperity. Idiot. I'm giving thanks for what I have, and whatever I have is more than enough to suffice.
Some people don't understand the level of gratitude.
Sure.
I have everything I need in life, and I accept everything that's coming to me.
Exactly.
Okay. That doesn't eliminate anything that anybody wants to gift me. It doesn't eliminate anything that's coming down the road that I don't know about. What it says is right now I have what I need to survive. And
Exactly.
I have blessings coming my way. That's a way to be grateful for everything.
Attitude of gratitude. 10 years ago, I walked away with basically the clothes on my back and anything I had purchased before I got married that time. I lost my house. I lost my credit. The attorney was $38,000. Legal fees between that and everything else was about $250,000. Didn't know I had that much. And I walked away. And right now, my life is better than it's ever been before. The nicest house I'll ever live in, the nicest neighborhood I'll ever live in. Neighbors, they're neighbors. I tend to believe good fences make good neighbors, so that's fine by me. I want for nothing.
Hell, you're a global citizen, so your neighbors are, out here in Colorado or down in Key Biscayne and Key West, or you still have some good neighbors in New Orleans, even though you don't technically live there anymore. But because you're a global citizen, they remember you. You remember them.
Oh, and part of me is always going to be there on Bourbon Street. You know that.
It's got a special place, yeah.
I got to drum with Dr. John to heal the Gulf after Katrina. I got to join parades. I got to drum in a second line. These are gifts. These are
I got to cook desserts for famous people.
Yeah, you did. With Paul Prudhomme. How cool is that?
I actually served dessert to Dr. John's table. That was actually
Matt Rebenek. Beautiful soul.
Do you remember the big round, the round tables that were around the columns?
Sure.
At the commander's table?
Sure.
When I got to serve their table, he had 2 of those great big tin tops. And they had pulled all the chairs around and they put me in the center of the 2 tables. Of course, I flambéed the bananas and all the girls, whole group said, and then I served them up the fresh beignets because I was, of course, making beignets while I was flambéing the bananas. I drizzled that chocolate on there and that bourbon sauce, and they're like, wow. It's like, yeah, this is how we do things here. But I think he gave me a $400 tip.
Wow. That's more than the musicians make. You know that.
Oh, I know. But I guess it was family and some musician friends. I didn't recognize any of them but Dr. John, but, he ate at Paul's table like every other day.
Nice.
So I knew who he was.
Mm.
New Orleans was fun.
It is. It's a world unto itself. I call it Disneyland for grown-ups. And the music, any place you can go where there's music 24/7 is my home. So I'll get back there eventually.
Well,
just a matter of time.
We're all going on the road soon.
Yep. Yeah, I have studio jobs lined up, and every time I get paid to drum, I forget I get paid to play. It seems impure. And invariably, they chase me across the parking lot. Rev Newman, Rev. What? You didn't get paid.
Casey said Nolans.
Yeah, Nolans. Yes. And the quarter.
You got to say it like you live there. It's Nolans.
Yes, it's Nolans. Okay. Nolans, Louisiana.
But look, you can get away with Nolans if you move there. If and you move there. I lived in the lower quarter. I stuck out like a sore thumb.
I lived on Esplanade at the end of the quarter, right next to the Circle K, down from the
right across from Jackson Square, right across the square from my aunt's house.
Oh, nice. Right across from the Ahoy Bar, where they made burgers that were so big. How big were they? That Marianne and I, because she was my partner in the timeshare, we could buy one dinner and eat it between the two of us, and we're still stuffed. Food coma. And they serve a hamburger with a baked potato. There's a combination. Let's carb load.
You go to the quarter. If you like blues, you go to the quarter. If you like Southern
jazz,
really, you go to the quarter. If you
like jazz, you like Zydeco.
I like Zydeco, and
I do too.
Be partial to contemporary jazz, so
Tipitinas, La Place on Bourbon Street.
There's this little crab shack, and it was a shack down low in the quarter where we used to go to have crabs. But all the old timers got out on the porch with their banjo and their mouth harp.
Oh, sweet.
And their guitar, and somebody's always had the spoons and a washboard. And old time rockabilly music live on the porch.
Yep.
And it was the greatest thing. And then I heard after Katrina that it was no more. The crab shack was gone.
Well,
that's just sad.
I lost so many friends in Katrina. Most of them lived in, where was it? Slidell. Slidell got hit. Slidell looked like God took a squeegee and just went, everything was gone. And I know if they were alive, they would have contacted me.
A lot of people, Slidell, a lot of people that actually perished in Slidell perished because of the erupting graves, the whatever that, the grave rot mold thing that introduced to the water that was just floating everywhere.
Yep.
It made a lot of people sick.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, coming in contact with it was making you deathly sick. And we're talking about people that spent 7, 8, 9, 10 days on their roofs waiting for people to come pick them up.
That's why I haven't been back. I haven't had time recently, but I wanted to go back as soon as possible. And my friend said, I always get sick in New Orleans, in the quarter, because there's so much funk in the air. You know, there's funk. It's serious funk. And so after about 3-4 days, I can't talk. I'm coughing a lot. I'm having fun. Blisters all over my feet. Can't talk. Well, they told me the year after that the primal soup was still coming up in the streets.
Yeah.
I said, well, I'm glad I didn't go. So what I did was I got involved with people who went down there and saved pets and brought them back up here and placed them. Because they said if you had pets, it was a forced evacuation. But if you had pets, you couldn't take your pets. I would not leave my pets behind. I would not. They're my babies. Right. I've dedicated my life to their wellness. So, you know, if we're drowned, we're going to drown together. Or sit in some hot attic till we cook. But yeah, whatever. So the lions.
Sadly, that actually happened down there.
Oh yeah.
And then we watched the same thing again when Galveston got hit 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
And people still haven't learned.
Well,
I love Nolans, but we're living below the flood table now.
All of it was below the. You know, the only safe ground was, I can't remember the name of the church, but there is a church and a convent on the far end of the quarter, right across from where Richard Simmons lives.
Lafayette Square.
Okay, yeah.
Lafayette Square was above water.
Well, the far end, and those are the nuns that turned the quarter into a whorehouse.
Yeah.
So once again, the Catholic Church has good business sense. We'll give them that. So we're on this tour. I always do the historical tours because you get a different story every time, right? So Marianne and I are on this historical tour, and she asked the guide, "This is like the red light district." Well, the whole thing's a red light district. She goes, "I'm really drawn to that building," and he goes, "Oh, that's where the nickel hookers were." I said, "Well, now you know."
Yeah.
Welcome home. Welcome home, darling. Fleet's in. Fleet Week, you might make $1. You never know. You never know.
Yeah. Let's give us a spot there, Elle.
Okay. All righty. I will be more than glad to. Dear friends, will you help keep America's fighting forces strong? Over our 79-year history, the USO has been with our troops and their families through countless periods of uncertainty, change, and challenge. This has never been more important than it is today. Our mission is to go wherever, whenever they are, to help our service members stay connected to their home, family, and country. That's our duty. Imagine being half a world away from home in a remote desert. You know this one. You're carrying more than 50 pounds of gear. It's nearing 100 degrees. There's sand in your boots, your eyes, and your hair, unless you have satin underwear. Your ears are ringing from gunfire and explosions. What's the first thing you want to do as soon as you can? You want to talk to your loved ones and tell them you're okay and how much you miss them. Can't tell you how many of our men and women in uniform serving us all around the world tell me this. Making a phone call from remote parts of the world can be extremely difficult as well as expensive. So now's the time that you can help. For as little as $15, maybe even $10, you can support our troops and help them stay connected so they know that we who are back here at home appreciate all the contributions they make. So when you have the chance, just go to uso.org. Do what you can. Good organization. Good organization. So you're looking at 2 screens. You're like an air traffic controller now. Got the new monitor, got the new computer. That is so cool.
Well, I'm maintaining a chat room on the phone so I can pay attention to people that are still on the old format.
Yeah.
I've got chat room up to my right. I've got Anchor queued, ready to go.
Very good.
I'm monitoring the YouTube channel. I've got it muted so it's not echoing.
Mm-hmm.
We look good. Our
I like my picture.
Captions are amazing. They've missed like 2 or 3 words.
Wow. That's incredible. That's incredible.
Never had a pair of X.
Well, they who shall not be named didn't want to make an effort, nor did the D-bag that was my engineer for 11 or 12 years, something like that. When you told me all the things he could have done for us, but wouldn't, I thought, that stinks. And the fact that he was walking off the show before it was over, I don't think he ever really listened. But the fact that he was, you'd look up and his Skype mic was not. It was like, oh, he's gone. Well, thank you for your dogged determination, dedication to the cause. And the thing is, if he'd ever heard me once, just one single stinking time, he would know that it's going to cost him. When you do snotty things to people just to be evil, it's going to cost you. It's not worth it. I'm the kind of person that if the teller gives me too much money at the bank, I give it back. It's not mine. I didn't earn it. I don't want it. And they may think I'm silly for doing it, but that's just me.
I tell the cashier at the grocery store what the correct change is so that, you know.
Yeah.
You really don't need to give me that 20 because you're only supposed to give me 7.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, and that's bad because I could really use the 20. But hey, I feel like being honest, being correct with people pays off.
You can look in the mirror.
Yeah, I can live with myself.
And you know that 20 would cost you 200. The basic tenfold law of return. That 20 will cost you 200.
Now,
Not worth it.
if I see a $100 bill blowing down the highway, I'm going to slam on the brakes.
I'll step on it. Yeah, I'll be there.
Because I'm going to get that $100 bill.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but if somebody's handing me incorrect change, if somebody drops it out of their pocket in front of me, that's not my money. That's theirs.
Yeah, you don't have a right to it. My daughter was working at Kmart. It was one of her first jobs when she was in high school. Well, she had many, but one of her first jobs. And our neighbor, whom she didn't even know was our neighbor, came in. She's chatting him up because she's like her mother. He left his wallet sitting on the counter. And she had to wait till she had a break. She called him and said, Mr. Wilson, you left your wallet here. Oh, my God. And he came back and picked it up. Most people wouldn't do that. And she goes, I had to. If I'm going to live with myself, I have to. That's how our family is.
Well,
And that's really the family of humankind.
I got good news.
What?
Arise Music Festivals has bought their own property to have their festivals on. They're no longer going to try to hold it at Red Rocks.
Mm-hmm.
So they bought a nice little natural bowl amphitheater down south of where they were originally holding their shows. Well, it just so happens where they bought their property to hold their shows is about 30 minutes from where we bought. I reached out to them about a month and a half ago when they made the announcement of the purchase, and I said, hey, we here at Four of Like Kind are going to be your new neighbors, and we'd really love to be including in the vending package at your Arise festivals. Well, they just messaged back and said, as soon as we have something available to host in, we'll let you know. Yay. So reaching, how are you going to do this? How are you going being doggedly persistent? That's how I'm doing this. It's how I've gotten this far, being doggedly persistent. We started with one booking. Now we have 2 paid bookings and another booking for our circuit that we're getting ready to start at the end of August.
Excellent. Nothing beats perseverance. Nothing.
Look, if you can be doggedly persistent in watching a TV show or listening to a radio show or reading a book, you can be doggedly persistent at anything. You just need to apply your dogged persistence to goals that are admirable.
And doable. Back when I did a lot of television, and I did a lot of television in this 25 years, I would always start with, I only need to lose 20 pounds by tomorrow because the camera adds 20 pounds. And my daughters would say, do you plan to lose a major organ? No. Well, then you're probably not going to lose 20 pounds by tomorrow. Darn. I'll wear black. It's my favorite color. My whole closet. If it isn't black, it's Red Wings. So there's your choices. So like I said, this transition has been smooth like butter. Absolute butter. And I take that as a grand confirmation from the great creator spirit that we're definitely on the right path. And if those other people who shall not be named weren't so awful and so negative, it wouldn't have kicked me in the butt enough to get us where we are now. So I thank them for it,
I'm not going to name them anymore, but I made an offer going out the door 3 weeks before we actually went out the door. I made an offer to their lead technician, their lead sound guy, to help him grow Para X into what it should. Oh, I named them. Into what they should have been to begin with.
The sad part of it is, and I know why I stayed there, is because Dave put his life into it.
Yeah. His response was, we're where we want to be.
Nowhere. And the woman who hated me so much, hated me because when Dave's wife was dying, he felt it was much more important to be with his dying wife than to deal with Para X 24 hours a day. Now, folks, we're supposed to be spiritual. That's not even trying. And so she had that chip on her shoulder from that day on. And so anything she could complain about, she did. That's why she went to the powers that be and said that I was lying about Para X and I was lying about what's his name. It's like, play the tape. Just play the tape. The only time I said Para X was, welcome to Answers with the Astro Bag Lady on the Para X Radio Network. That's it. If that's negative, you got your head in a shady place, lady.
But to be fair,
Yes.
we anonymously name people nicknames.
Yes.
And
Touche.
if they've hair lipped us, we might air that hair lip for just a minute so we can get it out of our system. And to be fair, nothing you said was a lie.
No.
Fair, everything you said was spot on. They didn't offer the support that they promised.
Ever.
When we actually got around to the point of him trying to help, all he wanted to do was sell me sponsored material.
Mm-hmm.
And I told him going in, I'm working on a shoestring of $0 and no budget. I have the platform that you said I have to have. Help me get it working.
Yeah.
Okay. Problems arose from the get-go.
Mm-hmm.
Their copy of the program they said I had to have was 8 years older than the program they made me.
And it was a trial. It was a trial copy that they didn't think we had to renew.
No.
Mm.
That came in because of the disparity between the copy of Sam that you bought me and the copy of Sam they were running.
Ah, yes.
Okay. We need more software to make it compatible because, well, here, download this. This will work. So it did work 1 week.
Yeah.
It did work 1 week. We got one show up on their platform past the point of the betrayal.
But not to tell you it's a trial copy.
Yeah, I wasn't told that I was downloading a trial copy.
That stinks.
And you know, that's neither here nor there.
True. It's done.
The stuff that I need to download, we made a couple of small purchases.
Couple of big ones.
We're live on basically 4 platforms right now.
Mm-hmm.
Getting ready to download all of this that we've talked about for this last 2 hours and post it on Anchor FM. We'll disseminate it to 10 different podcast platforms.
How lovely.
Okay. 10 different podcast platforms we didn't have to pay for that are going to pay us.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it might be 2 pennies for this click or 3 pennies for that ad. But over time, that faith that was placed in me will pay for the software that was purchased. It'll pay for the laptop that was purchased. It'll pay for the program that we're running to be in front of you.
But those were gifts.
Yeah.
So when they pay, you pocket those pennies. Okay.
Well, when they pay, I'll reinvest those pennies because
all right, fine. But I'm just saying those were gifts.
I still have growth plans.
Yeah. I don't see any reason not to.
You know, there's some people that the former platform kind of disenfranchised along the way.
Yeah.
Just been looking for a platform to be reseated that they could feel home at.
Sure.
Okay. And Swampy, the great guy that he is, has already started reaching out to those people that were.
Isn't he wonderful?
And he's already got some of them signed on.
Oh, sweet.
Look, here shortly, we're going to be broadcasting on Prairie Home Network, a live internet radio station. We're going to be broadcasting on Isle Pagan Radio.
Yes, indeed.
Bringing the show to more and more people. Okay. And this is just because I reached out and said, hey, look, I've been trying to build community for 30 years.
Mm-hmm.
And there's people that just don't understand what I mean by community.
True.
Need a little help forming the unity that builds that community.
Exactly.
And, you know, people started standing up. Swampy stood up. Elle stood up. You know, and this is years back. Elle stood up and said, I'll be your Huckleberry. I will help you build community.
You betcha.
Okay. And we started working in earnest to build community.
Well, and you told me something I didn't know. You said that I had let me get it right. That people in South Dakota said wonderful things about me and that I had a good reputation. And I tend to think I'm just as invisible as I am tonight on the screen. And I'm good with it. That's half my chart in the 12th house.
Guys, let me tell you something, okay? Let me tell you something, okay? For me, I stay hidden.
Mm-hmm.
To be accepted as an honored drummer at my grandmother's grave.
Yes.
Okay. To be accepted as an honored drummer, not to just be accepted, to be allowed to enter the graveyard.
Oh my God. That was
to be allowed to drum personally for the spirits of those that rest there. She didn't impress them. She humbled them.
Oh.
And for that, they love her because, you know, anybody that can humble the grandmother's council, anybody that can humble the grandmother's council, I got you back.
Much less little Wachichu me. The beautiful part was the next time we go there, and I will be there again, we have been invited to drum for the Council of Elders. It doesn't get better than that. Because here's the thing. Everybody's got prejudice. When I went to Montana, they hated natives. They especially hated the natives at the Rocky Boy Reservation, which is where my brother Superman lives. Thank you. And they couldn't understand. I was on a medicine. What's a medicine walk? What's a medicine walk? Look around you. This is it. The whole earth is alive. It has things to teach you. Pay attention. Exactly. They want me to stay with them next time we go. I will, along with my espresso machine. They've taken me into their sacred family, and that's my sacred home. And my soul and my spirit as Freeberg will always be there. Always, always. That's why I sent you that little pouch of soil from that windy hill. It's amazing. No matter what the weather's doing, you get up that hill, it's windy, and the wind is caressing you and talking to you. It's just an amazing place. But that was like,
I've only ever seen it rain on that hill 3 times.
Really?
And all 3 times were on preaching.
I've seen it muddy.
I've seen it muddy most of my life, but I've only seen it rain on the hill 3 times, and all 3 times were preachers.
First time I went there, I took the route around the res because I thought that will kill me. And so I took the long way in, and I got there, and there were these little tiny Japanese men getting out of a Cadillac on top of the hill. And I'm thinking, okay, if they're not stuck, I am Jeep. Jeep goes anywhere. And sure enough, she did. So that was really quite brilliant. And that was when I didn't even dare think about going inside the gates. I just stood there thinking, my God, that grave is so small considering it contains 230 people. How can that be? And I took my tobacco ties and I tied them to the fence, and I thought I'd be crying, and all I felt was peace. Perfect peace. That's the wisdom keeper's touch, which is why, like I said, every time I go there, I'm enhanced. I'm a better person. It has to happen. It just has to. But there are many sacred sites, and when you surround yourself in sacred space, you take it with you wherever you go. So the world of negativity can't get in. It's just simple as white light or mirrors facing out. Negativity can't get in. Basic psychic self-defense. So it's all good. We go to places of bittersweet memories and realize that the people who did horrible things like what happened to us at the other place, the people who do horrible things are willing to take on some really awful karma so you and I can become enlightened. So I thank them all. You know, I kind of feel sorry for them, not in a judgmental way, just in a serious way that, you know, you're wounding your soul.
I appreciate all my tests.
Oh, yeah.
I may not enjoy all my tests, but I appreciate all my tests. And I appreciate challenges. I really do. For 54 years, that's how the Creatrix has kept me on my feet. It's giving me, just testing me.
Yeah.
The challenge that they put in front of me was just a matter of me realigning myself with a bunch of electronics that I had pretty much walked away from for a while.
Exactly.
I'm capable. And in fact, I'm more than capable. And
The thing is, until you get into a crisis, like, up to your nose, you don't have a chance to access your spontaneous creativity. So in the worst times of challenge, we become the best people we can be. For instance, raising kids. There is not one book anywhere on the face of the earth that really, truly prepares you for raising children. You may think there is. There is not. I have a library full of them. It's still a crapshoot. So here's the thing. You do your best. You be your best. You model the behavior you expect, pray that your children will model, and you love them unconditionally. The only rule I ever had with my girls was don't lie to me. Because if you lie to me, I'm going to get ugly. But ugly. You don't want to see that. So I never edited them. Tell me how you feel. Tell me what's going on. And in that moment, we got rid of the roles because roles are assumed. And went from being mother and child to friends. True friends. Spiritual partners. Which is how it should be.
My children know that I don't weigh their actions.
Mm-mm.
I won't weigh their actions.
We don't have that right.
If you need to sit down and talk about your actions, I'll listen. I'll listen to you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to judge you for what you've done. I might actually even be hurt or offended by what you've done, but you're not going to know it.
And you also know that if they do something that's far away from center, they're going to pay for it.
Yeah.
And I don't know about you, but I've always learned things the hard way. Former Catholic lifetimes. And I don't begrudge any of it.
The concept of Sharma and Dharma and early on. Even my adoptive children have come to the understanding that as long as they're okay with their Dharma, I'm okay with it.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
If you're okay carrying upside down baggage, who am I to fault you?
Drag it with you.
I'll help you get rid of it if you want to. I'll listen to you talk it out and help you work out a game plan for eliminating some of it if you want to. But
you really have to want to.
Yeah, you got to want to. I have a rule. If you want my help, you have to ask me for my help, and you have to ask me for the help you want.
Exactly. It's like the readers that walk around dumping readings on people. No. One, they're not going to listen. Two, it's impure. Unless they ask for help.
Don't jump into my chat thread. Don't jump into my private live videos. Don't jump into my presentations from the pages and offer somebody your services unless you consult me first.
Oh. No. No.
Have absolute control of the chat threads here. If you start advertising in the chat thread and you aren't authorized by Elle, myself, or Swampy to advertise in the chat thread, you will be evicted.
Gone. Just gone.
Gone. Because we won't tolerate it. It's
done. Poke you with a fork, you're done.
Yeah. We have an agenda. We have a role. We have a plot thesis that we're running with. If you don't care for it, we welcome you and invite you to listen to any other podcast anywhere else in the world.
You betcha.
As far as me and mine, we like what the Dr. Elle Newman has to say because she's been helpful to a lot of people.
Thank you, darling.
As far as it goes, we here at Four of Like Kind at spiritwalksfarcreations.com, we support Dr. Elle Newman and her efforts and her endeavors to educate you.
Y'all's in my family.
Absolutely.
Especially beans. I got this karmic thing with beans. It's probably unhealthy. Then again,
I think Kaylin and you were probably sisters a long.
I'm pretty sure. Plus, there's nothing as fun as buying baby clothes. Nothing.
Right.
Nothing.
That jumper is so cute.
With the sunflowers on it.
Too, but the sunflower jumper is just cute as a button.
I saw that and I said, that is how beans makes my heart feel. It's open and warm and sunny and loving, unconditional love. That's what's so beautiful about children and critters. They give you unconditional love you can't find anywhere else.
Look, that child is so full of chaos creation energy. All you have to do to figure out how to make intent real is watch a violet-eyed child.
Yes.
You watch a violet-eyed child and you see intent become reality really quick.
And I'm one of those people who thrives on chaos. I find it fun, which explains my love life. But it really, truly, it is fun because we rise to be our better selves. And when you walk into something with no expectations, greater good will find you. When I got in the car to drive out to Montana the first time, I had no clue. Ended up at Wounded Knee. Wow. Wow. Couldn't ask for more. Found my home.
It's a place to end up here. It really is.
My lost bird self.
Yeah.
And my sacred family and our sacred family at Keeley Radio. Do check them out online. They're wonderful people. Wonderful people. And they look at me and they know I've got a red heart. They don't care that I'm a blonde Wachichu shorty. They call me sister.
Yeah.
That's an honor. It's a great honor.
Well, you know, a lot of people spend a lot of time getting caught up on skin color.
Oh,
and
stupid.
I want to bring this to everybody's attention. Dr. L and I will be hosting a forum probably in mid-August. We're going to talk about handed down teachings and shared knowledge. And we're drawing people into that forum from both sides of the coin. Okay, because there's people that would hold the knowledge that our ancestors shared with us. They would hold it close to the chest and not share with you. People like me that wish they would get their head out of it, but I have to let them say their piece because they have a valid point. They've been by so many people that took the knowledge and didn't use it for good reason. They didn't share it in good faith. It didn't walk the good red road the way it was intended to be walked.
And they're afraid to be themselves.
Yeah.
So they can't find the truth. Which is
and our teachers, we believe that the world at large would benefit from the teachings of our ancestors.
Yes.
From the ways of old, the ways that things used to be. And if we can share that, if we can share even both sides of the coin, so you can see why.
Pick one.
Yeah. So you can see why people might not agree with us sharing with you everything that we would share with you. But you'll also see in this forum that there are those that we've converted from being closed-lipped and tight into genuine sharers of knowledge. One of our guest speakers in the forum will be Grandmother Isabel Misagawe. And she is a peach of peaches. She is a font of knowledge that you nowhere else. And she loves that I am willing to go in front of the people and scream, we need to be sharing.
Sure.
Okay. She loves that I get up every morning and tell you to get your foot out of it. Because she gets up every morning and she tells the people to get their foot out of it.
Exactly.
Okay. We need to be people first.
And I feel a certain kinship with her because Isabel's my immediate past life name.
Yeah.
So I have a connection.
Oh, I got her to listen to one of your podcasts. She loved it. She said we're fun.
Well, I'm crazy. I will admit I'm crazy, but that's Heyoka. Get used to it. My clothes are on facing front. My underwear's under my outer garments, so I'm still okay.
She dresses like the civilized world would have people dress. When I come to your event, Heyoka,
brace yourself.
Brace yourself. Because I put everything on backwards one at a time.
Ribbon shirt on backwards. Gotta have somebody button you up, though. You know.
I actually pulled it on over my head button.
Where there's no real.
I did have to get Sweetie to button my collar because those clerical collars are a beast.
Kind of hard. Yeah, I was at a conference once. It was one of those where, it was like Halloween. And I was wearing a big tutu skirt, and on top I had a bustier that tied in the back. It had those little, crisscross things to tie in the back. And my roommate wasn't there to help me get poured into my bustier, so I attached it to the doorknob in the bathroom. Now, I had forgotten that there was a hairdryer hanging on the hook of the bathroom. And a friend of mine came in because when Mother Peace Drum travels, I get like 12 room keys because my room is a hospitality suite. Keep your drums warm. Go to the bathroom, have a Coke, And so I'm in there. I'm running across the bathroom to tighten the back of my bustier, and this hairdryer is banging on the door. And my friend walks in. He thought something naughty was going on in my bathroom. He walked out backwards. And he said, "It'll keep." I went down to the drumming. "Where's your drum?" "It's in your room." And I said, "Well, I'm not." "Well, it sounded like you were getting busy." And I said, "No, I was getting tied into my bustier." And he went, "Oh." Yeah, well.
Swampy said what? No Skyclad?
Oh, no. First rule of Skyclad is the people you want to see get naked, don't. The people you don't want to see get naked, do. No, thank you. No. I was invited to do a Skyclad wedding. And I said, well, I'll have to get a bass fiddle. And my friend Charlie said, and I'll get a big saxophone. No, that's good for people who are good with Skyclad. Me, not so much. I'm allergic to poison ivy. I won't be frolicking in the woods at Starwood this year. They shouldn't be having it. The bug isn't gone. People are going to the beach and cramming next to each other. The bug isn't gone. That's why the bug isn't gone. My douche neighbor with the party.
One of the hard parts about finding venues for us this year is finding venues that are still observing. That are still observing safety precautions, that are still not threatening people to wear a mask.
Yeah.
Look, I had the bug, okay? According to science, I have the antibodies now. Okay, according to science, the antibodies make me immune for 8 to 10 months.
Cool.
I don't care. I'm still going to wear a mask.
There's going to be a new bug. I mean, we can't. It's mutating as we speak.
Look, if it were true that catching the bug, this type of bug, helped you build immunity to it and you would never catch it again, then I wouldn't have caught it again because this is the second time I've had it. The first variant all but killed me. The second variant, I ran 103-degree temperature for 18 days.
That's cooking.
That's nothing. I bumped it up to about 106 to burn it off. But I had to get my wits collected about me. I had a bunch of fires and going, a bunch of pans on the fires, and a bunch of irons in the pans.
Yep.
And I had to get my wits collected. I had to be myself, to do myself. I was taught a long time ago, if I get sick, the best way to get over the sickness is to burn it out.
Yeah.
So I do.
Yeah. I had a doctor tell me I was bug proof because I worked, as you know, 7 days a week for over a year in the COVID towers. Sorry, the bug towers, where they send you to die. And he said, if you're going to get it, you'd have it by now. I mean, granted, I was dehydrated. I had malnutrition, kind of used up, But he said, if you're going to have it, you'd have it by now. You are bug proof. And I said, here's the thing. I wear a mask. I wash my hands and I don't lick people. Okay. Now, when this bug is gone, I'm going to lick strangers. Just, hi, like Mr. Ed, or Jacob's Animal Sanctuary. Have you been watching those videos I've been posting? It's a wildlife sanctuary where they have the most personable donkeys in the world. Steve is a Playboy donkey. Yes, he is. He breaks into the feed shed. He's standing there with food all over his face, and the boss is saying, I'm not saying it's you, but it is. Dang, we're almost out of time.
We are at that wall.
I reckon. Okay, well, you can find your astrological predictions for this week tonight at the astrobaglady.net, and we'll have
tapes of them up in the near future.
You will also be able to find them tomorrow morning at For of Like Kind in the blog space we have been posting.
Yay! And Jim
You'll
Stovall.
also be able to capture this podcast on Spotify, Breaker, Anchor FM, and YouTube.
Hot damn. Well, thank you, everybody. I want to share with you a closing that I used on my show a million years ago. It's a simple one. If you talk peace. If you think peace. If you pray for peace, because together we can make this happen.
Yeah.
See you next week. Same time, new wonderful places.
Bonsoir, everybody.
Au revoir, mon cher. C'est un plaisir qui te revoir.
We love you. We'll see you next week. Bye, everybody.